Last video I promise you tonight because I'm tired. I'm going to make this real short and sweet. Okay? I promise it. Donna's like, yeah, right. Okay. No, seriously. Here's my message right now. There's a lot of you out there who want to be pseudo Catholics, and you want to be like connoisseurs of the Catholic Church, and you want to say, oh, this is wrong and that's wrong, and I want this, and you like to criticize the church. I do it too, right? But here's the difference between you and I: hypocrisy. You got some of you out there saying, oh, you want to see the high mass brought back, the extraordinary mass. You want it done right. You want holiness and reverence. You want the church to be proper, and you sit there pointing all the flaws that are going on in the church, right? And then I go on your Facebook page and I see you're looking at pornography. How dare you judge Catholicism and then go and look at smut and pornography? You double-minded hypocrite. Don't judge the church and then you're living in sin yourself. First, this is why God said, before you judge other people, get the plank out of your eye, okay? Get the plank out of your eye first before you worry about getting the speck out of your brother's eye. All right? Yeah, there's a lot of things going on in the church. Some priests don't do things right. We're all guilty of sin. We all mess up. But don't you dare sit there and get on your high horse and be like, oh, I'm an uber Catholic, and this is going to change, and I want a Latin Mass, and I want this, and oh, Pope Francis did this. And then you're sitting there looking at pornography, and don't think I don't see it. And don't think God doesn't see it. You get the log out of your eye first. Get the tree out of your eye so you can see clearly enough to start worrying about admonishing other sinners in the church. Now, I've been a hypocrite like that too. But lately, I'm doing pretty good. And so, I'm just saying. Because I got friends out there who like to be uber Catholics. And then they tell me on the side, I struggle with masturbation. Or I struggle with pornography. Well, then stop judging other people in the church. How dare you tell me all the bad things that your priest did, or how he's failing to be a good priest? And I'm not saying, look, you need to bring things out. Like, that's important. You do need to bring things like that to people's attention, to the priest's attention. Tell the priest if you think he's in error, tell him, before you slander him publicly. But also make sure that you yourself have your life in order. Don't sit there telling me you're masturbating all day long and watching pornography, or I go on your Facebook page and I see the garbage you're posting, and then you're going to sit there and say, Steve, let's talk about church. Let's talk about what priests are doing wrong. Let's talk about the Pope. Let's talk about how they're not doing Mass properly. That's all fine and well. Yes, let's talk about those things. But don't come to me and talk to me about that while you yourself are living a double life of sin, and then you want to go and judge a man of God or the Pope or whatever. You first make sure you got only a speck in your eye, not a whole tree, before you start trying to worry about other people's specks. You say, we're all guilty. None of us are infallible. So that's what God said, don't judge. So I got to catch myself too, because I do a lot of judging sometimes too. And I don't mean to judge people. I just call it out. I see if it's a spade, it's a spade. But I don't forget that me, myself, got a lot of problems myself that I'm working on. And I'll be the first to tell you. I'll tell you. That's why before I try to admonish anybody, I'll say to you, hey guys, I know I shouldn't say anything. I'm the biggest hypocrite, sinner there is. I got this problem, whatever. But so-and-so's doing this or whatever. Stop, because we're trying. Iron sharpens iron. So I'm just being real with you guys. But don't sit there and claim like you're like this holier than thou and you got all the answers and this should be done and that should. And then I go and I find out that I look at your news feed and the groups you're a part of on Facebook, and God knows what you're doing off of the internet, behind closed doors. I don't even want to know. You better stop, because honestly, that's going to drag you to hell. You need to stop. You better get your own house in order. You better be a saint first before you're going to go out there and start critiquing things. You better be on the way to sainthood. You better be walking the walk vigorously, like me and many others, before you're going to start talking and judging. Because if you don't know what you're talking about, if you haven't even gotten out of your own problems and sins and vices, and you're going to start critiquing others or telling the church how it needs to be, cut it out. Shut up, go to church, sit in a pew with the rest of us sinners, because the church is full of sinners, and the only difference is between those sinners and the sinners out in the world who don't go to church is that we know and we admit that we need Christ, that we are sinners and we need Him. We need a Savior, we need mercy, we need to be in church. Because without it, we can't ever overcome sin. So, yeah, we are sinners just like everybody else in the world. But we admit it and we know it. And the first step in the 5-step program or whatever. I don't know. I've never been in AA, but the first step is admitting you have a problem. Then you could be healed. But if you're going to sit there, I'm not an alcoholic, and then try to go to AA and claim, oh, you don't need to be here and you're not an alcoholic, when you are and you know it, nobody can help you. But when you come to Jesus, you come to church and you say, hey, I'm surrounded by other sinners in these pews because yes, now the healing can begin. But you got to admit you're doing something wrong. Don't hide it and say, oh, I'm fine. I go to church every Sunday. I do everything right. But yet I'm publicly on Facebook. I'm looking at all this stuff. I got, groups of models and stuff I'm looking at. Come on, guys. Again, be the real deal. Stop. Stop being a joke. Stop being a hypocrite. Be the real deal or shut up. All right? Either go to church or don't. Be a Christian or don't. Just shut up. Because there's too many voices out there and they're just talking a lot of talk, but they're not doing anything. When I tell you something, I'm doing it. I'm not just talking. I try to walk the walk. I don't just talk the talk. I don't know about all of you. I'm not trying to say you're not. I'm just saying I know that a lot of people, for example, I need to go to confession multiple times a week. I'll admit that. Even for little venial sins, I don't want those things adding up. I want a clean slate. I'm trying to be a saint here. I don't go just once a month or once a year. You know how many times I almost die every day? I don't want to die in mortal sin, so I go as much as I can. And I go there and I see that we have a half an hour a week. And most of the time, I'm the only person in the parish in that confessional from 4 to 4:30. And everybody's going up and receiving Holy Communion now. Are you kidding me? Are you telling me that every one of those 100 people in that church, none of them are in mortal sin? None of them have a ton of venial sins? That they're all worthy to receive the Lord? Are you serious? Guys, I suggest that you make it a New Year's resolution to start going to confession often. Don't go up there and receive our Lord in Holy Communion when you are in a state of mortal sin. Even if there's a possibility, even if you don't think you are, don't take that chance. You will condemn yourself. God's not going to want to come into a defiled body. You must first be ready. Before you go to Mass, you forgive everybody who's hurt you. You at least try to make amends with them. That's something people forget today. You don't go bring your sacrifice to the altar without first making things right with those who you're at odds with. You must forgive. If you're going to ask God to forgive you your sins, you must be forgiving of everybody who's ever hurt you. Don't forget that. You can't just sitting in the front pew having a grudge against people and then receiving Holy Communion and participating in Mass unworthily. That's going to work against you on Judgment Day. Guys, you got to take Mass. Listen, there's a big difference between Catholics and Protestants. And these are key differences that are so important. You need to understand what the Mass is and what the Eucharist is. Because if you don't, no wonder you're not going to confession. You're sitting there eating it like it's just in remembrance of him, like it's a cracker. This is not a piece of bread. It's Christ. And being in those pews, I'm not discouraging you from going to church. You need to be there. But you need to by being there, you're participating in Mass. You are in the holy presence of God and the angels and the Blessed Virgin. Heaven comes down to earth at that altar, and you're there, whether you can see it or not. And you can't be there in mortal sin and participating in this like the devil. Like, that's an abomination. That's an aberration. You can't... Guys, come on. If you're going to be Catholic, you better be real Catholic. Otherwise, go and be Protestant if you don't want to take this seriously. And good luck to you. But don't claim to be Catholic and don't follow the doctrines of the church, the catechism. You need to have communion, confession. You need the sacraments. You don't just go there on Sunday or once a couple times a year. Guys, seriously, there's a lot of work that goes into being a Catholic. A lot you need to remember. There's days of obligation. This is like it's like Judeo-Christianity. The Catholic Church is very much like the Jewish Church. In many ways, we have a lot of things we have to remember to do. This is serious. This is serious business. This is not just going to a non-denominational church and say, oh, praise Jesus, praise and worship, fellowship. No, that's not what we do in a Mass. There's a reason why it's a solemn pomp and circumstance. There's all this that goes into the Mass. It must be holy and reverence. There's a reason. There's a big difference between a Mass and a Protestant service. So, if you don't Understand that? You don't believe it? You have no business being there. Catholic or no Catholic. You need to be a real Catholic. If you're a Catholic, you better brush up on what it means to be a Catholic. You better understand your faith. Otherwise, you might as well be a Protestant. And if you're going to be a Protestant, you understand that you're not really receiving the body and blood of Christ. You got no confession. You're not doing anything right. I hate to tell you this, but you're not. There's a big difference between Catholics and Protestants, and they're an important issue. You need to understand. You need to understand so you can make a right decision whether you want to be Catholic or Protestant. I got a lot of Catholics in there acting like Protestants or atheists. What do you go there for at all? Oh, it's Christmas. Jesus doesn't need you to show up at his birthday party and ignore him the rest of the year. What are you going to give him? You got nothing to give him. You're going to go there, you don't even want to be there in the first place. Oh, I just got to do it. It's a holy day of obligation. There's a lot of those. Are you going to all of them or just Christmas? Come on, guys. Wake up. Please. If I could just shake you and slap you upside the head. This is dangerous. You might as well not go at all if you don't understand what you're doing, if you're not going to go there for the right reasons. When I go to church, I'm late. My thing is tardiness. And I hate it. And I feel, and even the Blessed Mother had said, you should never be late to Mass. It's a sin. And I run in there, I'm so sorry. I'm so mad because it's like, I look forward to going to Mass. I realize I'm going to be standing there in front of Jesus. I can't wait to receive him. I want to be there. I was late on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, only by a few minutes, but still, 2 minutes, 5 minutes. But it broke my heart. I wanted to cry because I was so looking forward to it. But health issues and other things were getting in the way, traffic, weather. But that's not the point. I tried like heck to get there. And I wanted to be there early. I wanted to be there for this. This is especially Christmas Eve and Christmas Day Mass. That's so important to me. I wanted to be there. I love it. I can't wait to be there to celebrate Jesus' birthday. This is God. This is his birthday. And I was invited to his birthday party. I don't want to be late. I wanted to be there. And I was so heartbroken that I was a few minutes late. It's disrespectful to him. There's no excuse for it. These are things I got to work out. I'm late. But I go, and I mean it. And when I'm there, I'm like, wow, I don't want it to end. Some people are looking at their watch like, oh my gosh, is he ever going to shut up? This is such a long sermon. Oh, Mass is too long. I'm like, go home then if you don't want to be there. But some of us want to be here, and I don't care if it's 5 hours. I don't get enough of it. I love it. I feel at home. I'm there with God. I'm in his house. A little bit of heaven. For an hour of my day, I get to be where heaven meets the earth. I get to be there. I want to be there all the time. I can't wait to be in heaven. And in the meantime, I want to be there at that Mass. I take it very seriously. Very seriously. I'm not trying to be false pious and all these genuflecting and stuff, but I do notice that my body language is very different from most people. And I started cutting back on that because I don't want to look like a hypocrite or like I'm putting on some kind of false piety. But then I realized, no, these people need to realize where they are right now. They're in a Catholic church, a Roman Catholic church, in a Mass for Christ. It's all about him, not about us. And they need to bow. And you know what else I started doing this year? Bowing to my priest as he enters and exits the church. Why? Because that is Christ in persona Christi. He represents Christ. Christ is in him. He just did the Mass. He's a priest. He's a king. He's Christ in the flesh. Like, he's the closest thing we have. So you bow when they're walking by. You don't run out of the church before or scurry out the door as soon as the priest walks by. You got nothing better to do with your time than to worry about who gets out of the parking lot first. Are you an idiot? Do you have you have no reverence for the Mass. You have no idea that when you're in church, how holy that is, how awesome that is, and you take it for granted. I got better things to do. I'm going to go home and catch the game. Then why do you come at all? You think God doesn't see that? You don't think he knows your thoughts in your heart? Are you a moron? Did somebody drop you on your head when you were an infant? You need to be in holy fear and reverence and love of God when you're in that church. That is a holy, sacred place. That is his house. That is the closest thing you and I will ever have to heaven. And that priest on that altar and that deacon is the closest thing that you and I will ever have in the flesh to Jesus Christ until he returns and walks the earth again. You need to realize that. So you bow when that priest walks by. Not because you're not bowing down to a man. You're bowing down to the Christ he represents and carries within him. Okay? And you bow to the Lord and you stand with your hands clasped like a saint, not with your hands on your hip or in your pockets. You're standing in Mass. Have some reverence, people. Take it seriously. Because if you could see him standing there, you'd be on your face, kissing the floor that he walked on, if he was really in your presence. And he is in that Mass. Whether you believe that or not, whether you see it or not, some of us can. You need to realize what that is. And even if it was just a symbolism, God sees that. He sees how you react. So come on, guys. Stop standing there in Mass like a bunch of confused lemmings, like you don't know that you're in the presence of Christ in a holy place and what's going on. Go to confession before Mass. Receive worthily. Bow down. Kneel when you're supposed to kneel. Do what you're supposed to do because you're doing it for God, who sees, not for men. Okay, this is for God. Do it for the right reasons, out of holy fear and reverence. You'll get a lot more out of the Mass and from Christ. He knows his people. He knows who's real and who's not, who's just playing church and who's the real deal. So I'm asking you guys to be the real deal. For love of God. Please, if you say you love him, show him. In every little, so that other people who are walking around, smacking their gum, looking at their phone in Mass, will see you standing there like this, and bowing, and taking it seriously. And if they don't like it, then they can go be Protestant and hop around, and go listen to fog machines and music and strobe lights. Good. But when you're a Catholic, be a Catholic. I'm so sick and tired of people not dressing properly. I love those women who are brave enough to dress nice and wear a veil. How beautiful you look. How classy is that? That's for God that they do that. That's old school, but it looks so attractive and beautiful. Thank you. I'm sick of girls who are wearing their spandex pants in Mass. How dare you? You look. First of all, most of you women, don't wear that stuff. You don't even have the body for that. You look disgusting. I don't want to see. It looks like broccoli. I'm sorry, but you look like you're wearing cellulite ever. Nobody needs to see your camel toe and every part of your body, especially in church. I don't need to see your breasts popping out. You need to dress modestly and conservative. You're before the Lord in his house. I don't need to see that. That's why I like to sit in the front pew, because I don't want to see all these abominations behind me. I want to just focus on God. But lately I've been coming in late. I'm stuck in the back of the church, and I see all these things going on, and I'm like disgusted. Kids climbing on the pews, people wearing skin-tight pants, like they just got out of the bed or the gym. They don't put any effort into themselves to stand before Christ. They're not going to confession. They're receiving holy. You're doing it all wrong, and it's gonna be to your detriment. So I'm sorry if you don't like what I'm telling you, but I'm warning you. This is not a game. When you are worshiping the Lord, you worship with fear and trembling and reverence and love, holiness. Otherwise, you're doing it wrong. And don't give me excuses. Learn this. Read the catechism, read the Bible, take it seriously. I dress up decent for Mass. I stand in proper. There's a reason why I stand the way I do, and I keep my hands clasped during the whole thing. It's not comfortable. It's for God. It's how it should be. We are worshiping God Almighty. This isn't. We're not at a convention, people. If I wanted to be lazy and just, I'm just going to enjoy my faith, then I'd be a Protestant. It's not about feeling good. It hurts my knees to kneel. Sometimes there's no kneelers, and I kneel on the concrete. Yeah, and I have bad knees, but I do it for the Lord. Not for you to make a spectacle of myself. Look at Steve, he's holier than me. No, I don't care what you... Don't look at me. I hate when people look at me at Mass. I don't want to be seen. I'm not there for you. I'm there for God. When I'm in my own little world. When I go into Mass, I don't even know what's going on around me half the time. Like, I get into this transfixed where I'm just there at Calvary, or I'm focusing, and then people see me, and then some people come up to me, thank you for doing that. Doing what? Well, it makes me realize that you inspire me. When I'm like, why? I'm just doing I'm just standing here. No, it's the way you stand, and it's real, Steve. It's authentic. Well, thank you. That's why I do it, but I do it for God first, not for you. But thank you. And then I realized it's important. And if everybody did that, I mean, look, these are little things we can tweak, guys, that we can do to make things better for the church. If we're going to be Christians and we are outnumbered in this world, you need to shine bright. Everybody should know you're a Christian without even asking. By the way you carry yourself, by the way you stand in church, by the way you live, talk, act, dress, everything. The jobs you choose, everything. It should be obvious. Preach without words, but by example. Use words when necessary. Unless you're somebody like me who needs to preach to people, because that's my thing. But I try to be an example. And it becomes like second nature after a while. It's like chewing gum, walking down the street, riding a bike. It's not hard after a while. It becomes who you are. You become more like Christ. That's the whole point, guys. Christians are to become more and more like Christ. And think more like Him. Talk more like Him. Act more like Him. And eventually, by the end of your life, you're going to become another Christ down here. That's the point. You'll never be God, but you are going to be like His Son, and God will recognize you and welcome you home. You need to be conforming yourself. Jesus is, for every man, we have Jesus and Saint Joseph and Padre Pio, people to look to inspire us to become like them. That's like the stereotype of what we need to be. That's the mold to conform ourselves to. And women, you could be like the Blessed Mother. That's why Jesus gave Mary in the Catholic Church for women to be. She's the new Eve. She's the second Eve. The first Eve messed up and caused trouble. The second Eve was faithful to God to the end, and she's the new Eve. And that's why Jesus is going to let her crush Satan's head in the end. Because He wants a human woman to defeat Satan, because it bothers Satan so much. It destroys his pride so much to have because the whole reason he rebelled was because he hated humans, and God said, I'm going to hold the humans above the angels, and they're going to judge the angels. And Lucifer said, I am not going to worship, I'm not going to serve men. They're not even spirit beings. They don't even have the power and the wisdom that we have. They're nothing like us. They need us. You want me to humble myself below a man? No. And then he was mad because Jesus said He was going to become a man and walk among us. And Jesus said, I will not serve you if you become a human. No, I'll serve you because you're God Almighty. But when you lower yourself like that, I will not serve you. And that's what happened. He rejected Christ because God's plan for salvation. So Satan was not going to like the Blessed Mother, the Mother of Christ, stepping on His head in the end. So that's a win-win for those women out there. It is awesome to be like Mary, to be a powerful woman of God. You should be proud. You should be proud to wear that veil in church. You should be proud to be as much like the Blessed Mother. That is what you women need to be like, because she was like Christ in every way possible as a woman can be. She was Christ in mind and heart, but she was still very much a woman, the woman God wanted her to be. And that is what every woman needs to be like, is like the Blessed Mother. And every man needs to be like Jesus and Saint Joseph, his foster father, who raised him. A real man of God. Okay? Holy. Holy men and women who are Christ-minded, Christ-hearted, Christ-like. Then you will go to heaven and be with Him, because you will be like God. You will fulfill your mission of being in His will, plan, and purpose. You will be what He said you were. You were created in His image and likeness. Now fulfill it. Walk in it. Walk in His shoes. Be like Him. That's what He created you to be. That's why He said that. I create you to be in my image and likeness. So do it. We are human already. He was part human when He became human. We also have a spirit which is eternal. God is a spirit and He's eternal. We are like God. So start acting like it. Don't act like you came from the devil, like you're an idiot, like you're an animal. Act out your birthright. It is a major blessing that you and I were created by Almighty God, who does not make junk and He does not make mistakes. You and I have sin and vice and problems because we were put into this world, which is a fallen world. Ever since the fall of Adam and Eve, there's corruption. But God is going to renew us in the end. We just got to get through it. So we're going to have problems. We're going to have issues with sin while we're down here, because the flesh is made of the earth, and the earth is corrupted. But the soul that God gave us is not corrupt when he gives it to us. We mess it up. So we need to be cleaned by the blood of Christ and redeemed and start becoming more like Christ. And then we will be ready for heaven. We cannot go to heaven if we look like the devil. If we're nothing like Christ, we cannot join what is holy if we're not holy. Do you understand that? It's not easy because you have an enemy and a world and everything set against you and I. We're like a cancer to this planet because we're no longer like this planet. And the more Christ-like you become, the more you're not going to think like these people. And you're not going to want the same things. And you're going to be different. And you should be proud of that because you're going to be holy. I'm not asking, you want to be humble. The holier you get, the more humble you get. Not proud. You'd actually think you'd be proud. But no, you get humble because you still realize, wow, God did this, not me. And wow, how important it is. And wow, I'm nothing without God. And that humbles you. This world is geared to make you and I proud, to puff us up and make us think we're something special, that we're better than somebody else. Like, I'm better than you because I'm white, or I might have money and you don't. No, in God's eyes, we are all created in his image and likeness. We're all equal. Now, we will either love and serve him or we will be like Satan and not. And that's the only distinguishing factor. He says, if you are mine, you will do what I say. You will obey me and I'll know you're mine and you'll look like my son. If you don't, you're going to look like the devil. You're going to be a child of his and you're going to burn with him. And that's not what I created you for, but that's what's going to happen to you. I did not create hell for you. I created it for Satan and his demons. But you will end up walking in their ways and you're going to go to the same place. Don't do that. I don't want that for you. I have great things planned for you as a human being. You are going to judge the angels. You are going to rule over them. You are going to sit on thrones with my son. For all eternity, you have no idea how awesome it's going to be. Just trust me as your heavenly Father and get there. That's all I'm asking is for you to obey and get there. And be like Jesus. I gave you the blueprints. I gave you the way. I showed you. Now walk in it. Do what he says. Like the Blessed Mother said, do whatever he tells you. And stop listening to Satan in this world. You cannot have both. You cannot be like the world and like Christ. I'm sorry, they're opposite. Light versus dark. Choose a side and stay on it. And I hope you're choosing the side of light. Sometimes it's deceiving. Satan will make you think that you're on the right path. He's the angel of light, but he's really the devil still, So he masquerades in light. Don't be one of those. Guys, you gotta know. You gotta have Christ so you can see the truth. I make a lot of provocative videos. Provocative meaning that the world is gonna hate what I'm telling you. Some of it's gonna sound like conspiracy theory. I am not here to mislead you because my soul is on the line. And I don't need to burn in hell for eternity for giving you a bunch of lies or false prophecies. I'm telling you to read that Bible. I'm telling you to know Christ. I'm telling you need him. I'm telling you this is important. I know some of you have problems with, it's hard for you to comprehend and believe. There's Christians out there who preach, but they don't really believe what they're doing, and yet they got a ministry that God's given them. They're singing praise music, they're leading people to the Lord, but then when they're alone, they're kind of like, does he really exist? I don't know if I believe this. Why is it so hard for you to believe? Trust me. I mean, I know I'm nobody, but what do I need to be, the Pope? Would you believe him? I mean, are you going to believe anybody? I'm telling you he's real. That's all you need to know. And he'll show you he's real if you really believe and ask for faith. Just do what he tells you and you'll see. But don't keep doubting. And you can't. Faith and doubt are opposites. You either have faith or you don't. You either believe or you don't. Guys, it's so much more difficult than it has to be. It's already hard. The only reason it's hard is because you got a world of deceit that we're living in that's pulling you away. And it's doing everything it can to make you confused and just go into the world. It's so much easier to just go with the flow. The world is going downstream like Niagara Falls, and it's pouring into hell. Now, you and I as a Christian need to swim against the current like a bunch of salmon. Think about that. That's why it's going to be hard. Don't go with the flow. It will end in destruction. You go against it. That's what you and I are here to be light in a dark world. If the world is dark and we're light, there's not going to be as much of us, but it only takes one candle to light up a room. Shine. Do what you are here for. Don't give up. Because if you give up, and that current's going to bring you over the cliff and you're going to drown. Failure's not an option. You and I, who are Christians, have had the blessing of knowing the truth so we can see and differentiate and make a choice. There are billions of humans that don't yet know the truth or who have rejected it, and they are blind, and there's almost no hope for them. You and I are their only hope. Christ needs to speak through and work through us. We need to be an example to be the light for them to follow in the darkness. If we don't let our light shine, it's a waste. Even if we make it, millions will not. You want to live with that on your conscience for all eternity? Your family's souls are at stake. Your soul's at stake. Jesus said, if you don't do what I command you to do, their blood is on your hands. That's why I do this. This is not making me popular. This is ruining my life in many ways. But you know what? I'm going to do this because I don't want on Judgment Day God saying, I gave you a big mouth and you used it for evil and not for good. You could have used it for my word. You could have helped many people stay out of their blood's on your hands. You did not even try, Stephen. You knew all of this. I gave you wisdom and understanding and you wasted it. It's like putting a candle under a basket so its light cannot shine in the room. What's the point? I can't do that to him. I asked him for these gifts. He gave them to me. I got to do this, whether you like me or not. I got to tell you the truth. So I'm not perfect. Neither are you. He doesn't want us to be perfect. He wants us to try. He wants us to do as he said, and he will help us. Just start walking. Just start doing it. It'll get easier in some ways. Life will get harder. I guarantee you this. The easier it becomes to walk with the Lord, the more attack, the more problems, the more things are going to happen to you. But you're going to have the strength and the faith to get over it. You'll be fine. You'll get through the storms, but they're going to keep coming. And it's going to be tiresome. And you're just going to be like, I wish I was ignorant. It was easier before. Of course. You want to just sit on a raft and go down the river with everybody else and then end up in hell. But you don't want to do that, do you? You want to live forever? Life, this is nothing compared to heaven. So trust me. Remember the goal. Keep your eyes on Christ and your eternity. You're stocking up now for your afterlife, not now. And I'm telling you, don't sit there and say, well, I don't know if I believe in that. There's an afterlife. I know for a fact, because I've been there, but I can't prove that to you because you're not me, unless you see for yourself. But look, I'm not the only one telling you this. Jesus himself told you this. There's millions of us telling you this. You're not going to listen to me, listen to other people, but trust me on this. Do you think I would be doing this? What time is it? It's 11:30 at night. I had things I wanted to do, but I'm spending time preaching. I'm not getting money for this. It's not helping me popularity-wise. It's not doing anything good for me other than for heaven reward. But guys, I don't need to do this. I'm doing this, and I'm losing a lot of friends and family doing this, but I'm doing it for a reason. I would not do this if I did not know for certain. And if my life is on the line, I'm telling you, Jesus Christ is Lord, and I'm telling you the truth. Take it as you will. Do what you want. You have heard. You have the Bible. You have many of us out here telling you the same thing. You need to make the decision. Will you believe and obey or not? You either get with God's program or you don't. That's up to you. You've been given free will to choose. God doesn't want slaves. I'm his servant. I'm his employee. I choose to work for him. I didn't have to. He offered it to me and I took it. I am not a slave. I'm a slave to Christ, but it's easier. When you're a slave to Christ, you're like his child, a servant. He doesn't call you a slave, he calls you a friend. He tells you his business, what's going on. You have a relationship there. He's not a taskmaster. You want to do this. You love it. I look forward to this. This is not work for me because I love it. But Satan's a liar, and he wants to enslave the human race. Joe Biden, he works for Satan. I don't care if he calls himself a Catholic. These people have an ungodly agenda to enslave us all in a new world order, and it is not going to end well for any of us. But those of us who are Christian go to heaven, the rest go to hell. So you need to just figure out which side you're on, because we will die sooner or later, and it's going to be hell on earth sooner or later. I'm just trying to tell you, if you're going to go through it with your head held high in Christ, and know that no big deal. We all die at some point. If I die sooner, I go to heaven. I got something to look forward to. The rest of these people are going to burn. So they don't want to die. Don't you understand? That's what the difference is between a Christian and a non-Christian. Christians who know Christ know that we have a hope of something better. And so we're not afraid to die as long as we can go to heaven. Because we know that, there's a chance we might go to hell, but we have a better chance than the rest of going to heaven. because we're doing something about it instead of just wasting our life. These other people know in their conscience, because they're creating God's image and likeness, so whether they admit it or not, they know that there's a possibility of hell, and they don't want to go there, and so they don't even want to think about it. They're so scared, it scares them to even think about it, so they're trying to live. They will do anything. They'll stab you and I in the back to live. They'll do whatever it takes to live as long as they can on this world and enjoy their life now, because they know this is the only time they have. So they want to get rich and famous and have all the sex and luxury and enjoyment they can, because they know their days are numbered and they don't know the day they're going to die, and they know it's all over from there and they're probably going to burn. Okay? And then say stupid things like, oh, well, we're all going to hell. No, we're not all going to hell. You want to do that's your choice, you idiot. I don't want to go there. I'm not even going to joke like that. I want to go to heaven. I might not make it, but I'm going to try. If you're telling me that my life is before me, I need to fight. I'm going to fight to live. Not just this life, eternal life. This life has been terrible to me, honest. I've had blessings, and look, when I was in the world, I had a great life. I'm not going to lie. I was a movie star. But I could have had anything, and I did. But when I followed Christ, all that went away. It had to. And I don't miss it, because I know the truth now, and I wish I never did that stuff. I wish I was holy from day one. I regret most of my life. But I know now, and I can tell you, turn around, you're going the wrong way. This is it. This is the truth. I'm telling you, I would never give this up. I don't care if I get hung tomorrow or put in a firing squad. Bring it on. Because I know, and I cannot unknow what I know. That's all I can tell you guys. I want to go to heaven, and I know that the reason I'm here now is to go there and to help get you guys there. That's what it's all about. And if you lose sight of that in this maze of life, your life is in vain. And you're going to burn. And that's all Satan does. He's got nothing but time. 24 hours a day. He doesn't sleep. He just seeks who he can destroy. He hates you because you look like Christ. Because you were created above him in God's image and likeness. He hates human beings. And so that he hates Jesus. And he can't hurt Christ. So he hurts his precious little humans. That's what it's all about. It's a power struggle. He wants to be God. He wants our worship. He wants us to obey him and choose him over Christ, so he can say, ha ha, Jesus, I got more of your precious little humans, and they're going to burn with me, ha ha, and you're going to lose them and forget. You're going to lament over it forever. And Jesus is going to say, you know what? I will forget they ever existed. When they're gone and in hell, I'm not going to lament over them. I gave them a chance. I don't want them there. I will fight for them till the day they die. But when they make that decision to separate themselves from me, I will not know them. So that's the thing. Heaven would not be heaven if you and I knew that all our family and friends who did not make it were burning in a lake of fire, in torment. How could we enjoy heaven knowing that they're over there burning? It would be hell. It would be so sad. So God's going to erase their memory from us for our own good. If they don't make it, they never existed to us when we're there. We're not going to know, and God's going to forget too. God's going to, at the end, he's going to take all our sin and all the evil in this world and all the bad people and put them in the lake of fire and close it up for eternity and forget they ever existed. And that's where they'll stay. And it's not because he's cruel. It's because God is so holy and perfect and awesome. He's like ecstasy. He's every good thing. He's so amazingly good that the exact opposite of God is evil and hell. There's opposites, light and dark. They're so polar opposite. Hell is bad just because it's opposite of God. It couldn't be any less bad. That's just the nature of things. And God couldn't be any less good. So you want to go to heaven and be in the good side. Otherwise, it's not like God did it intentionally. It's just by default, no God, you have hell. Hell is a place void of all pleasure, of all God, of all light, of anything good. It is pure, concentrated evil. If you could put it in a bottle, it'd be like concentrated acid from that movie Aliens. It'll just burn through everything. That's how concentrated evil hell is. That's why it's so painful and terrible. You don't want to be there. You want to be found in Christ and take his mercy and go there where you will be in bliss and ecstasy for eternity. Happiness. Concentrated happiness that you and I could never understand in this body, or we would die from just experiencing it. We couldn't even contain it. That's how much love and happiness and light there is there. Trust me. And if you and I could never even survive if we knew how bad hell was now, we would die of fright. You couldn't contain it. I'm telling you, guys, this is a supernatural thing. You'll understand sooner than later. When you're dead, you're going to understand everything. Don't worry about that right now. Just know that you don't want to go there. And do everything you can to fight, and swim uphill, swim up current, swim upstream, get to Christ. Your eternity, your family's eternity depends on this. Please understand this, because in the coming year and from now on, there's going to be terrible things taking place on the earth. And I'm not trying to be a false prophet here. The Bible even says it, and it's happening. You're going to need Christ. You're going to have to remember these things so you're not afraid. And you're going to stay with Christ to the end. You'll die one way or another anyway. Die for Christ. If it comes to that. Most of you are not going to have to worry. You're not going to be martyred I'm just saying, if it comes down to that, be ready. If not, you're going to die of cancer or old age or whatever. But you still need to die in Christ. Don't forget that. Why you are here. So, fight for your life and your eternity. Fight for your rights. You have rights as a Christian. Rights of freedom and religion. Freedom of speech. Do not let them take that from you. You fight for that. That is your God-given right. You were not born to be a slave. You were born to be set free. That's why you're a Christian. Jesus came to set you and I free, not to put us back into captivity. These people are trying to put us all into captivity. Wear a mask, get a vaccine, stop going to church, take the mark of the beast, get a chip implant. No, absolutely not. Over my dead body. Kill me now, because I am not going to serve you, Satan. I hate you. You ruined my life, and I'm done, and I'm going to expose you until the day I die. I'm going to tell everybody what you do. I'm going to tell them everything I know about you and your plans. That's what I'm going to do, and I know you hate me. You've been after me since I was born because you knew I was destined for this. Bring it on. Whatever. I got Christ. I'm doing the best I can. I'm not going to go down without singing like a canary and telling everybody the truth. So be it. What do I have to lose? My life. You can kill this body, but you can't have my soul. And when I make it to heaven and get that well done, I'm not going to have to worry anymore. I'm going to be free and safe forever. And those of you still down here, I'm going to pity. And I'll pray for you and I'm going to fight for you still. But I hope I get to stay here till Jesus returns. But I don't know. Only God knows that. But I have to do my job until that day comes. And I'm a Christian first. I'm a Roman Catholic Christian and not one of these New Age, New World Orders, Nova Secloro Catholics. No. Those are satanic. I am a traditional pre-Vatican II Catholic, the best I can. That doesn't mean I don't have a sinful past. It doesn't mean I don't deserve this. I did some things, look, I've done everything wrong, but I'm not that person anymore. And so I'm telling you, it's Jesus from here on out. And I am serious traditional conservative when everybody else is getting lukewarm and falling away and saying, oh, well, progressive is good, modern. No, it's not. It is not good. Okay? We're not a communist socialist government and country. But that's where we're headed. That's not good with God. God is more of a capitalist, not a socialist communist, okay? Not a Marxist. You're not an atheist, you're a Christian. Remember who you serve. Everything I do every day, even when I mess up, I remember I'm a Christian first. Always a Christian. And by baptism, I'm a priest, prophet, and king. That's part of being a Christian. Don't forget that either. Don't go walking around with your nose up in the air thinking you're who you are because of that. But I'm just saying, do not forget that if you're a child of the Most High God, you are a priest, prophet, and king, destined for greatness, to be a leader, to judge the angels. Stop forgetting who you are. Start acting like it. Stop acting like the devil or some other godless person down here. You carry yourself with integrity because your Father is God and you represent Him. You dress properly. You speak properly. You stand up for what's right. You do what's right. Separate yourself from worldliness and do the right thing. That is your birthright. That is your right. And that is what you were created to do. And it's not hard. You just need to know this, and the world, even the church, isn't even teaching you this. They're not talking to you the way I talk. There's not enough priests out there that talk like me, and the ones who do get silenced or defrocked. Why? Because Satan doesn't want you to know this. He doesn't want you pumped up, realizing, hey, I've been duped. This is true. This is who I am. I'm going to walk in it. Then you're going to be powerful, and he can't have that. You have Christ on your side. You know who you are and what you're capable of. You are dangerous to the powers of darkness. And you need to be silenced and removed, according to Satan and these godless people. So please, know who you are and stop doubting and questioning. You choose Christ, and that's it. If you believe in Jesus Christ, that he died for you, that you're in the club. Now you need to walk in it. It's not enough to just believe. Satan knows the truth too. He just doesn't obey it. You need to obey it. It's not a matter of feeling. It doesn't matter if you feel like it or no. Stop. That's worldly, fleshly stuff. You just take God at his word and believe it. And even if you don't, walk in it anyway. All right? Better safe than sorry. Just start, and eventually you'll get it. But you can't keep being double-minded and maybe not. No, stop. Choose this day who you're going to serve. God made it very simple for you. Choose me or choose the devil. Choose Christ or choose the devil. It's that simple. Not choosing either is by default, you're already on the devil's side. So you need to choose. That's your responsibility. Make your choice. Set your mind to keep it set, and that's it. Let's not make more out of this than we have to. You're going to have to follow rules in life one way or another. You're either going to follow the rules of the kingdom of darkness or the rules of the kingdom of light. Choose the kingdom of light. You're either going to be a slave to one or a slave of the other. Be a slave to Christ or be a slave to Satan. Satan is a cruel slave master. Jesus is not. Choose Christ. I mean, I cannot sell you. I shouldn't have to sell you guys this. It's common sense. Come on. All right, I got to go. It's late, and sorry, Donna. She's been waiting for me. We had a movie we wanted to watch, and I'm going to church again tomorrow because I can't get enough of it, and I need it because I want to do more of this. And the more I go to church and receive Jesus, and the more I'm in a state of grace, the more I'm glowing, and the more this keeps coming out. And I love it. He can use me more the more I'm close to him. So I wish I can go. I want to go back into religious life because I miss this. I miss having church and adoration every day, and having Holy Communion every day, and be able to get confession every day. And just all I got to do is focus on serving him and preaching and working for him and studying him. I love it. And there's nothing else on this world that I want to do anymore than that. And so if you feel the same way, pursue a vocation. And if you're not, and you have a job or you're married or whatever, you can still do this. We need you. You're part of the church militant. You're in God's army. There's the church suffering, the church triumphant, and the church militant. The church militant is here on earth. Those of us who are doing battle now. The church triumphant are already in heaven. They already won their crown. They're triumphant. And the church suffering are the people in purgatory. They're going to go to heaven, but they're burning right now because they didn't make the cut right now, but they're not going to hell. So they made it. They're just going to have to pay. So they're suffering, and they need us. The church militant is like, basically, it's kind of like how our system is. You got the upper class, middle class, and lower class. The poor, the middle class, and the rich, right? The rich don't do anything for any of us. They just extort everybody. You know, the whole pyramid scheme. So the poor can't do anything, so the middle class has to bear the weight of both classes. We work for the rich, and we have to take care of the poor because the rich won't. So we are like, the church militant is also in between heaven and hell. And we are the ones bearing the weight. We have to work for God and do a lot of work. And we have to reach the souls that are suffering and perishing. It's a lot of work, but eventually we keep it up. We're going to be church triumphant. So right now we are in a military. This is boot camp. This is not even boot camp. We're ready. It's on. Be a Christian. Be a soldier for Christ. Till the day you die, and you will die with a crown, and it will be all worth it. Or you can just give up and go back into the world and pretend to be happy and keep trying to fill these voids with material things and sex and every other stupid thing out there that is unfulfilling, and that's just going to drag you to hell. It's all nothing. It's all in vain. And you might have an enjoyable life now, which I don't think anybody's going to have much of an enjoyable life in this new norm after COVID, because if you enjoy going out there wearing masks and being inoculated with vaccines and having to be a slave to the New World Order and not being able to congregate anymore, not being able to touch people and have to keep social distance and not be able to leave your home and go to the beach and go on vacation, I mean, what are you giving up? This new norm, it should be easier now for you to be a Christian, because now you can't do half those things you used to be able to do anyway. which you probably shouldn't have been doing anyway because you're taking too much time from Christ anyway. So now you have an opportunity. You can look at glass half empty, glass half full. Take advantage of this new norm and realize, let it show you how ugly the world's reality really is and why you're a Christian and why it's important to be a Christian. The world needs us, whether they like it or not. Nobody likes a cop until they need one. No one likes a doctor until they need one, right? And then suddenly they're running to him. Nobody likes a Christian until they're on their deathbed and they realize you're going to hell. And all of a sudden, please, get a Christian, pray for me. It's too late for you by then because you didn't listen. You could have joined us a long time ago, and then you'd have a happy death because you'd be like, I'm dying, but this is great because I'm going to meet my Maker and I can't wait to hear that well done. Or you're going to be terrified saying, I did not live my life right and it's too late and I'm going to hell. Yeah, I wouldn't want to die like that. Your last time on earth in a bed waiting to die knowing you're going to burn as soon as you take your last breath. That's terrible. But that's what the world is. That's what being worldly does. That's a price you have to pay. Satan will give you a credit card that you can't max out. And you think you're never going to max it out, but then all of a sudden you're going to get the bill at the end. And you can't pay it. So I suggest, why do you think less is more? Be a minimalist for Christ. He said, take only what you need. Depend on him for everything. He'll never give you something that you don't need or that's going to hurt you. And he's not going to give you stuff that you may want that's going to hurt you. Trust him. You might not have everything right now, but if you realize that in heaven, you're going to have everything this world could ever offer you and more. You don't need it right now. You don't need it right now. You're not retired yet. When you go to heaven, that's your retirement party. You'll retire in luxury. Right now, just take only what you need and stop complaining. Because heaven, you're going to have a mansion. Jesus promised we're all going to have a mansion unique to each one of us. We're all going to have everything we've ever wanted up there that's holy. But you're going to want holiness. You're not going to want worldly things anyway. And it's going to be amazing. You don't need wealth. You're going to be walking on streets paved with gold and diamonds. Literally. Literally. Heaven is made out of diamonds and gold and every precious jewel. And it's yours. And it's mine. And it's God. Because everything that belongs to God, all that treasure, is going to be ours. His children. He shares it with us. So it's ours. And nobody's going to be jealous because everybody's going to have awesome stuff. Like, you're going to be happy. It's good, man. You can't even imagine. You got to de-worldize before you can understand that. So stop with this. Get it. Got to have this. Got to have it right now. Get it quick. You only live once. Tomorrow may never come. You're right. Tomorrow may never come. So don't waste today trying to get stuff you don't need for tomorrow when you need to be focusing on going to heaven tomorrow. Because tomorrow God may say your time's up, and if you show up empty, you're screwed. Forgive my language, but I gotta talk to you people in a way you're gonna understand. No sugarcoating stuff. You need to focus on this. So please, just read the Bible. All right, I love you guys. Thank you for watching. I hope that that you guys learned. I'm trying to read all these comments now. Guys, when you do all these comments, I appreciate them, but I don't read them until after because I'm trying to preach and I'm in my own world and I can't wave to everybody and add people and all this stuff. I don't even know what this stuff means half the time. I'm really computer illiterate, honestly. I'm lucky to do this. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope that it's helping you guys. I hope it's encouraging you guys. Some of you people are in ministry. Some people are in the priesthood. I got all kinds of people who listen to me. I would like to be a priest, and if I can't be one day, I'm still a priest at heart. I'm still a Christian first. I'm still a Roman Catholic first. And so I'm doing the best I can in my state in life, and that's the best I can do. I don't have much. Every day's a gift. I suffer a lot. I don't have much money. I'm not even complaining. I'm just telling you that I still make time to do this, don't I? I mean, you have no idea, but I make time to do this because this is what's important. I want to hear well done when I die. And considering my track record and how close I come to death almost weekly, I don't want to mess this up. I'm being given time to work for God. I think I would have been gone a long time ago. I know I would have if I didn't do this. But if I keep working for God and I'm doing a good job, I think He's going to bless me and keep me going. And so, and like I said, I love doing this for you. If this is helping anybody watching, then I'm doing a good job. If I get one soul to heaven in my life, well done. I've done my job. It's not easy, but I'm happy with that, and I hope to get thousands of people to heaven, but I'm not God. And God can't force himself on you, so I can't force you. You have to choose. It's ultimately up to each one of us what we're going to do and what we're going to choose. You're either going to choose Christ or not. You're going to choose to obey or not. And that's what depends. It's all based on that. I cannot make you love me and I can't make you love God. And God could make us do stuff, but he doesn't want to. He's not Satan. He wants people to love him on their own. He doesn't want slaves. He wants servants and children and employees who want to come to him and work for him. Not the other way. Satan will take do like the election. The people who rigged this whole election, those people are evil. They stole the election. They'll do whatever it takes to have control. They don't care about democracy. They'll steal an election if that's what it takes to get their power. That's Satan. No Christian would ever do that. Let me tell you, if you had a real Christian president, and Trump is the closest we've had since Kennedy, and he wasn't a great one either. Do you ever notice that Abe Lincoln, Kennedy, Trump, I'm surprised Trump wasn't assassinated, but these other guys, they'll kill the good ones. They'll assassinate you if you're doing something right. They will not let a good president be in power in this world, in this country. Notice that, because Satan's running things, and he does not want that. So, Trump is the closest thing we have. He's not the best example of a Christian, but he's all we got right now, and we're losing him now. And so, after this, guys, if he doesn't miraculously stay in office, which is going to need a miracle, it's Biden, and we're done. Do you understand that? It's all downhill from here. You need to be ready for that, and whatever comes, and you need to not lose your faith. You need to rise up in your faith, even to the death. And I know I'm going to have a lot of, the CIA is probably watching this, and I'm probably on a list right now. Oh well. What do you want me to say? This is the truth. Maybe I'll convert some of you too then. But this is a choice. This is the truth. And I don't care if aliens show up tomorrow, because there's a whole alien thing too. I don't want to get into that. Do not be deceived. They did not create you. Yes, they've been here forever. Yes, there are aliens. They're demons. That's what you need to understand about aliens. They are terrestrial, and they are demons. And that's all I'm going to say on that. Do the math. It's in the Bible. They're demons. It's a great deception. It's coming. Do not throw away Christ and your faith just because things start getting really weird in sci-fi, because we are in 2021 now. So expect things. Don't lose your faith, because now I'm telling you this now. God wants me to tell you this now, so that this next year, when all these things start happening, you're going to be like, I don't believe in the Bible anymore. Big mistake. You need to remember what I'm telling you. You need to remember everything Christ told you. And nothing changes, guys. It's good. Appearances will change. The world will change. Regimes will change. Governments will change. The Antichrist will come. Aliens will come. But Christ did not change. He's still the truth. He's still God. Know that. God bless.